Welcome to Monkeys Unfiltered, the podcast where chaos meets conversation and the unexpected is always on the menu. Join hosts Leanne, Jason, and Hayden as they swing through life's absurd, hilarious, and thought-provoking moments. No topic is too wild, no opinion is too untamed. Get ready for unfiltered banter, laughs, and a barrel of fun. This is Monkeys Unfiltered.
Weddings. The day when two people declare their undying love, surrounded by friends, family, and that one uncle who always drinks too much at family gatherings. Marriage, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Two souls intertwining, promising to navigate life's unpredictable waters together. It's like choosing a lifelong partner for a three-legged race because, let's be honest, it's going to be awkward. You're going to fall a few times, and one of you undoubtedly is going to get hurt. But the magic lies in getting back up and laughing off the bruises. On the wedding day, there's a unique blend of chaos and bliss. Brides, after months of planning and several emotional breakdowns, emerge like goddesses, radiant and glowing, partly from joy, partly from the sheer relief that it is finally happening. However, grooms, on the other hand, often look like they've been told they're about to wrestle a bear. Yet they stand there grinning ear to ear because they know they've won the jackpot. And then there are the vows. Those heartfelt promises whispered through tears and occasional snickers from the best man. Promises to love, cherish, and tolerate each other's quirks. Let's face it, if you can love someone despite their obsession with Star Wars, or sports, or their inexplicable love for pineapple on pizza, you're golden, right? As the ceremony unfolds, there's a sense of enchantment in the air, mingled with the faint scent of Aunt Betty's overly aromatic perfume. And the I do moment comes, there's a collective sigh of relief. No one has objected and no one has fainted. So here's to marriage, a thrilling adventure with no map, full of highs and lows, unexpected detours, and hilarious roadside attractions. But here's to the wedding day, a delightful mix of joy, tears, and comforting knowledge that no matter what, you'll always have someone to share the last slice of pizza with. Hi, and welcome to this episode of Monkeys Unfiltered. And you have probably realized by now that today we're talking all things wedding, specifically our weddings. But don't worry, we promise there will be plenty of laughs because that's just how we monkeys do everything. Right, monkeys?
100%.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you just said.
What? That it's, once you find someone who loves you through your obsession for Star Wars, you're golden?
Yeah, that.
I am sitting in front of a Mandalorian poster wearing a Jaguar shirt. All
Right. So you hit two of the three.
If my wife couldn't overcome my love of video games, we would have been over like years ago.
So let me just say, when I was writing my intro this morning, I had just finished editing an episode of Monkeys. And, unbeknownst to our few listeners, I have been struggling with some internet connectivity issues for the last few weeks. And so sometimes getting an episode recorded has been a real challenge for me. And then the editing part, I'm having to piece together 2 or 3 different tracks to get the whole episode together. And when I fall off, you two monkeys stay behind every single time. When I listen to it on the replay, what are you two talking about? Star Wars.
It's a universal good. Like, what can we say?
I guess. Well, Star Wars, sports, pineapple on pizza, either way, I thought it would be fun today to just give a little glimpse into some of the highs and lows of our individual wedding days. I think we each take away some very pointed memories. We each had a different perspective of one another's ceremonies. We were able to, be together for all of them. And I thought it would be fun today to kind of reflect and share some of the funnier moments with our listeners.
Yeah, so that drunk uncle bit you mentioned was particularly poignant to my wedding.
Yes, it was.
I'm a little bit drunk.
Well, and I'll say this, like, while in fact the uncle in question spent a good portion of his time drunk, he did in fact do me a pretty big solid when one of my groomsmen failed to make it to my wedding.
Yeah.
He actually stepped into that role so that we didn't just miss a body, right?
This guy was good.
Ironically enough, and like this is the hand of God, his measurements turned out to be the exact same as the person who wasn't there, so we had no changes to make. It was pretty solid.
And his name, right?
Huh?
Weren't they? Didn't they have the same name?
I had a groomsman with the same name, but it wasn't
Oh,
the same
okay,
one he
yeah.
filled in for.
Okay. I was like 14 at your wedding, so
Yeah, it's really sad that your girlfriend at the time couldn't make it, because now, like, me and Ariel are so close to the two of y'all whenever we get together. It's just sad that she couldn't make it at that time because she was so young.
It wasn't that we didn't try.
Dad was like, "You want to go where with a bunch of strangers?" I think,
And you're
not.
gonna sleep
What?
where with
No.
your boyfriend of how long? I don't think so.
The hills of Alabama? Like, no. That is true. So, well, I guess if we were going to go in order, technically, Jason, you have been married the longest.
So we can look at that a couple of different ways, considering how many times you've been married. I think
Shut up.
in consecutive at current, yes, I've been married for going on 8 years. 7 right now. It won't be actually 8 until November, which is quite a ways away, but still. It's been a really wonderful time. I'm a vastly different person now than I was when we first got married. A lot of changes have been made. In fact, there was a time where we had to kind of literally have a come to Jesus moment. Because so my wife is deeply religious and has been her whole life, and unbeknownst to me at the time, her bridesmaids like even kind of gathered her up and was just like,
What are you doing?
"Are you certain about this? Like, I don't know. All of it was out of love for her, right?
Mhm.
Well, they hated you,
And
so.
she told them, like, I don't know, I feel a peace about it. I feel like I've heard what God said. So, like, I was far away from God at the time, and we went probably a solid 2 years before any of this really started like rising, because the promise was, hey, I'm a Christian, I go to church, I have a relationship with God, I fully expect that, like, I'm going to marry someone of the same mindset. And it just wasn't the case. But again, she felt comfortable with it. And after too long, it started to become a noticeable divide between us. And I think this really all came to a head in 2019. Right leading up to the icky. She started saying, like, hey, something's got to change. Like, we're not in a good place. You made promises to me and you're not living up to those, and we got to do something different. And so at the same time, Matthew had come to stay with us. And so there was just a whole dynamic in my house. And so, long story short,
For clarification, Matthew is Wayward Monkey.
true. He is the prodigal monkey, right? So he
Correct.
yeah, he was living with us at the time, and so there was an interesting dynamic in the house. And long story short, we ended up bridging that gap religiously, my wife and I, and like we have become all the better since.
That's good.
Yeah.
I would 100% agree. I think you are miles and miles and miles from the person that you were when you first met Ariel versus who you are today. And I agree with you. I mean, it is definitely the hand of God, right? Because as you mentioned, I had a couple of practice rounds, and I'm just glad to be able to say at least we're not judged by our mistakes. We're judged on hopefully how we recover from those mistakes. And I feel like I've recovered pretty well. And I feel like for the first time, and I think I've mentioned this before, I'm married to Papa Monkey for no other reason than I love him. And that's a first for me. And so when you find that person who is that other half who, you'll do that three-legged race with, right? Because yes, we fall down. Yes, we get hurt. But when you find that person that you're willing to do that with, and they are the right person, it causes you to change and evolve. And I think you two, along with your brother, are probably the best testaments of the difference Dawn has made in my life since we've been married and the person that I am.
Yeah,
Me.
I agree.
Hayden can't say any of that because he was born with his wife.
I don't know that we were born together, but
That there's a little incest happening, perhaps. Sounds like that.
No.
This is House
So
of the Dragon all of a sudden.
we've known each other and pretty much been together since we were 14, and we're
Right.
coming up on 25.
Years of age.
Right.
I think that was implied, but thank you for the clarification.
Maybe if it wasn't to me, I'd imagine there's some people it wouldn't be also.
No, you're just dumb.
That's true.
Anyway.
That's very true.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks for noticing.
So I think we dated the longest,
I'd agree.
but I mean, like, obviously we were in school, so it was difficult, but we knew probably in high school, like junior year, senior year, we were like, yeah, I mean, there's no one else for me, right?
Right.
I remember she told me specifically, like, after we graduated, she's like, look, I don't want to be engaged as a teenager. I want us to be at least 20 years old because that's weird. And I was like, all right, cool. And then she's like, and if and when you do it, I want to have either my whole entire family around or I want it filmed. And I'm like, God, both of those things let you know it's coming, right? And so I think I found a pretty decent compromise on the proposal. But I mean, it was ill-timed because of the ick that came out around 2020. But no, I mean, like, right out of high school, though, we did move in together. And I think that helped solidify, like, I don't want to be with anyone else, you know? Because it's like, if you can live with someone, then you're pretty much golden, I would imagine.
So you guys both have, alluded to that time, and I'll just say the word COVID. If we're going to get down and actually talk about our weddings, COVID played a giant part in how my wedding actually finally happened. Don and I had been together for quite some time. And when we finally made the decision, so here's the deal. We two had been in a cohabitative situation for a little while, and, we're older. We've done this a few times. Like, we had a come to Jesus meeting as well, but it was really just between the two of us. Like, what are we doing? Is this a solid thing? Is this really what we're going to do for the rest of our lives together? And, when we started kind of leaning in, like, yeah, I think I'd like to do the rest of my life with you. I was really clear that, I don't need to get married for security, for a roof over my head, or to have kids or any of that kind of stuff. Because, at that time I had the three of you, you were grown. I was putting my own roof over my head. I had my own security, my own job, my own money. Like, there was no reason ulterior that I was looking for to get married, but I was really clear with him that that was important to me, that if we were going to make a lifelong commitment, that it would involve marriage. And he agreed, which I about fell out of my skin. You guys know my husband, and he, he's pretty not non-committal. Yeah, he just likes to
He's
keep
a go with the flow person.
Not be tied down to things. So when he said, yeah, that he'd sort of been thinking about it, and then he found his way to ask me. And so we started planning, and that was it. And I said, listen, if we're going to do this, I think I want to get married on my birthday. And he was like, why would you want to do that? And I said, well, because I make a big deal out of everybody else's birthday. I don't want a big deal made out of my birthday, but it would be really cool because this would be like a great gift to getting married. So we planned, and I handmade all of my invitations. We had a big deal planned, and I say big, I mean, it was big to us. And then COVID hit, and we got pushed back and pushed back and pushed back till I finally just broke down and said, I don't want to do this. I just, it's not worth it. This is too frustrating. But he kind of persisted and was like, let's just, you and I, find some place that we enjoy, and let's just go do it, because we were down to our options were getting married virtually.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not doing that. But we had vacationed in Hawaii several years before, and he was like, what if we just went to Hawaii? And I'm like, oh, I'm so down for that. Right. And transatlantic traffic was just beginning to reopen back to the island of Hawaii from the mainland. And I looked at airline tickets and went, are you kidding me? They were like $300 round trip. So you guys were my next flight. Hey, you guys want to go to Hawaii? We're going to get married. Here's the deal.
I don't
And
think
it was
that's how it
so
happened.
cool.
I think the brothers got together and was like, hey, wouldn't it be freaking cool if we made it and surprised them with us being able to go? I don't think you guys knew about it until we talked logistics.
Really?
I think so.
Because I feel like I helped you find an Airbnb down the street from ours.
Right, after we told you we could actually get the finances in order to go because things were so cheap.
So I'll compromise with you and say I probably called you guys and went, hey, we're going to Hawaii to get married because the airline tickets are $300 round trip. And then you guys might have had a conversation behind my back.
I think that's how it went.
Really?
Because once we discussed it afterwards, and we were like, oh, we're going to go. Because then I remember having a conversation with Mom about, like, if I could buy Nan's ticket, that way she could be on the same flight with us. And then she ended up not being able to go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother episode.
But I'm just saying, like, I remember both those conversations. So, like, I remember the three of us talking about it and then separately talking about getting Nan a ticket with Mom.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we agreed to kind of like bear her burden while she. Well, that's kind of sounds kind of harsh, but I don't mean it that way. Like
Right.
we were gonna pay her way essentially, right? We would let her sleep where we're all pooling resources to.
Yeah,
to
we all
have,
kicked in on a ticket for
an apartment,
yeah.
right? Yeah, and then we were gonna provide food and all that stuff. We just needed to get her there.
So I want to backtrack. You said you wanted to get married on your birthday, and then COVID hit, and so you decided to get married the day after my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so uncool, dude.
Well, it wasn't that we chose that date. So the way you have to do it when you get married in Hawaii, if you're not a Hawaii state resident, you are required to have a local coordinator. So I contracted with a coordinator who helped us set things up. And that was the date that was available with the vendors that she worked with. So
not just any birthday either.
No, listen, you shut your face because you got to spend your 21st birthday in Hawaii the day before I got married. I mean, be quiet.
Right.
I'm sandwiched by y'all. I feel like Don's birthday is right before mine, and then y'all's anniversary the day after mine. So we've talked about how much our spouses mean to us pretty lengthily here, but isn't this episode about the weddings themselves?
Okay, so yeah, we talked about hers a little bit. It took place in Hawaii. So this was all of our first times going to Hawaii. Obviously, we were all pretty young, like when you consider it. Like, I don't know how many people of like common means are able to go to Hawaii like before they're 30, like before they're 21, whatever.
It was hard for me to do in my 40s, dude.
So that was pretty cool to be able to do that early in life. And I'll tell you what I remember distinctly about going to Hawaii, aside from your wedding, are two things. Going on the road to Hana in a giant Suburban.
Oh, God.
Okay. And then the second thing is that the water of the Pacific Ocean, specifically where we were on like on the Kihei side, was incredibly, I don't know, it just feels different. Being from the East Coast and being in the Atlantic Ocean, like all of my childhood and stuff, the water feels different. It's so much cleaner, so much smoother. It's crystal clear, and sea turtles attack you.
I was going to say, it was so clear. You saw that sea turtle coming.
Right. Well, we saw them going up and down. It's just when they sneak up on you, like, what can you do?
And they knock you over.
And they're like, hey, you want to play?
Dude. But I'll tell you, that's so some listeners may know, some may not. But I've been struggling with like really bad back issues ever since this particular trip. There was a time where I was trying to exit the water as a like 30 some odd year old person, just about 30 anyway. And I tried to do that thing where you run out of the water. And if you know anything about water, it resists you.
If you know anything about running, it's stupid.
It is stupid, right? And so, like, me and Matthew were like,
Says the woman that used to run competitively.
Right.
I know,
me and
right?
Matthew were like messing around, and I tried to run from him, and I just so if anybody knows about the old GI Joes where you could like stretch the legs apart from the chest portion, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a little rubber band in there on a hook. Just imagine that little rubber band just snaps inside you.
Right?
And that's what it felt like for me. And thank God you married a chiropractor, because it's the only reason I made it back to the States in one
Right?
piece, because I was struggling, especially on an 8-hour plane flight.
You never left the States.
The Continental... Shut up. Thanks for being funny, though. It's content.
So, if we talk about memories, I have one for each of you, but Hayden, you specifically, because your brother, was here and Ariel was here. And so you came and stayed with us here at my house.
Oh, before my wedding?
And oh my gosh, you would have thought that I had no idea what I was doing because you were so stressed that I wasn't going to get you there on time. And you're in the back seat of the car, just like, go faster, go faster, go faster. And I'm like, calm down. We're going to get there in plenty of time. Because I took some unfamiliar back road to you that we drive all the time. And you're like, where are we? What are we doing?
Dude.
We're going to be late. We should have left an hour ago. You were so nervous. And then we get there and her dress hasn't even arrived yet. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and she was pissed about that. But like the thing was like, dude, I don't care if we're 9 hours early. Just make sure I'm there, right?
And we got you there, did we not?
But all morning you're like, it's fine, it's fine. I was like, no, I'll kill you. Get me there now, please.
Very important.
That's pretty much what you said to me. But hey, were you late? Did the ceremony start on time? Did you look gorgeous?
Did you look gorgeous?
Wait, because you looking gorgeous reminds me of my other favorite memories when your dad came to the, like, we're all in the groom's quarters, right? And your dad comes and he wants to hang out with you and stuff. And you're like, no, get out. You're making me nervous. You made everybody leave but me. And I was like, oh my God, that's so special. But it was only because you wanted me to fix your hair.
That's because I needed my hair. I was about to say I needed my hair blow dried. Because that's back when I had long hair, like the other two.
But I have to say, your wedding to me was, I'm going to hand it to you and Cheyenne.
Don't hand
not
shit to me.
Not what I ever had. Okay, I'm going to hand it to Cheyenne. I'm going to hand it to Cheyenne. Not ever what I imagined she would put together, but was like so perfectly you guys. Her dress was like perfect for her. You guys, my 3 boys, just looked so handsome. And I thought it was awesome. And what I also loved, and this is like way back in my previous life when I used to be a hairdresser and I would do wedding hair on the weekends. I always loved those weddings where the bride and groom are the last person to leave because they're having a good time, right?
Yeah.
And literally, you guys were packing up stuff and everybody's like, leave, we got it. And you guys just wouldn't leave. And I loved that.
We made a joke because the bridesmaids and the groomsmen, like there was only 2 on each side. So I had Matthew and Jason, and then she had her cousin and her sister. And all of us had long hair.
Mm-hmm.
And we joked with the photographer because it was kind of windy when we were trying to take pictures. We were like, I bet you've never had every single person in the party have hair issues with the wind.
That was a bunch of great hair that day.
Yeah, and then like 3 months after we got married, I chopped all my hair off.
She did too.
Yeah, but it's kind of grown back. She doesn't have a short anymore like that.
Yeah. I have a favorite memory of your wedding too, Jason.
You do?
Do you know what it is?
Favorite memory from my wedding for you? Oh yeah, where I broke down in the hallway and was like super excited to marry my wife, and you thought that I was getting cold feet and wanted to run away. Unbeknownst to anybody, Ariel was actually tucked off in an office, like right where we were standing, could hear all of this, and her maid of honor was standing right in front of her, like, game face, you got this. Nothing's wrong, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Like. But she did say her heart melted when she found out why I was crying.
You're right, because I remember like we were in that little office because that's where we were putting purses and jackets and stuff like that. I don't remember which one of your, Hayden, it may have even been you, but somebody came in the room and was like, he needs you, he needs you, he needs you. And I'm like, what? Who? What? What's going on? And I'm pushing Dawn out of the way. I'm elbowing Nan, like, where is he? Where is he? And they brought you to me and you were just bawling. And I was like, oh my gosh. And that was it. I thought like I needed to talk you down. Like, it's fine. You got this. This is the woman you want to marry. Just pull it together. And you're just like, no, I just can't
I
believe
was
she's
overly
mine.
excited to marry her.
I was like, oh my gosh. And then after the fact, when you guys got your wedding photos back and your first look photos, and you were just crying in those, it was like brought it all kind of like full circle.
That's the banner on my Facebook page, and I don't know if I'll ever change it because I've never been so just viscerally happy in my entire life. Like, that is at my core, I think, the happiest I ever have been in life.
It was a good day.
Do you know what my favorite is from your wedding? My favorite memory, Jason?
What's that?
when Matthew, me, and I don't remember who else was. It was like 3 or 4 of us convinced the people at the front desk to let us into your room.
Patrick was probably in on that.
I don't know that he was. I think it was like a few of
It was Matthew, 100%, 100%.
Oh, he led the charge. And
100.
So I know it's him because for whatever reason, you numbskulls spelled out the word sex in like cups with water in them in the middle of our room. Here's the killing part: is my mother-in-law helped us carry things to our room right after, right? So she walked in and she was the first one that saw it. Very awesome. Very awesome.
Gotta love that.
It was funny, and you know it.
I don't disagree.
Childish, yes, but funny.
I think, if we talk about favorite memories, when we talk about my wedding, this is going to sound so crazy, but the actual act of getting married, yes. I remember just everything about that, and it was awesome and great. But for me, it was more about having that week in one of my favorite places on earth with you guys and doing the things that we did together. And, like when we went to the top of the volcano in the middle of the night to see the sunrise, the road to Hana. I mean, I think we've talked about this particular trip on a previous episode because we talk about, some of the things that we did.
It had to be like our vacation episode or something.
Yeah. When I think about, favorite memories from my wedding, it was just like having you guys there because I really was convinced because of COVID that I wasn't going to be able to share it with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Hayden, I just remembered that there's a favorite part of mine from your wedding. It wasn't actually part of your wedding, but it goes back to what Mom was saying about trying to get you there on time.
Mm-hmm.
In the car was the first time that you guys, so me and Ariel knew about it because of one of her students. So one of her students actually goes to the same church that we do, and the youth group thought this was the funniest thing, and so they started sharing it with other people. And Ariel found out about the Hawaii Pidgin translation of the Bible, and it's actually super funny. I hope this audio comes through. I'm gonna play a little bit.
It is very funny.
Love and aloha for the people inside our world, that He would send me, His one and only boy, so that everybody that trusts me don't get cut off from God, but get the real kind of life that stay to the max forever. God never sent me, His boy, inside the world for punish the people. He would send me for take the people out of the bad kind stuff they're doing.
Wait, what?
So it was the first time you had heard that.
What was the one that we got hung up on?
It was when Nicodemus was talking to Jesus on the roof. So, he said, we know you to what? We know you to teach it to come from God.
Right.
What was it specifically?
Something about being a homeboy or something.
No, Jesus said specifically, gosh, I can't remember. It was something we got stuck on for a long time.
It was like he that boy because he's God's good boy or something.
Right.
Like
so we know you God's only boy. Right.
Yeah, it was funny.
But then
is that the same place where the in the Beninging is from?
It is somebody who speaks a foreign language that does that, but I don't know if it's specifically Hawaii Pidgin.
In the Beninging.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it because that is pretty funny.
I'll tell you what I didn't like about your wedding, Hayden. I had to drive 2 hours home. in the rain.
Don't live where you live. I don't know what to tell you.
Don't get married in the boonies.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but it was when Nicodemus is with Jesus on the roof. And Jesus said something specific in Hawaii Pidgin, and I just can't for the life of me remember what it was. Because we kept saying, like, Jesus say, and then I can't remember what the word was.
Right. I don't remember what it was either, but we said it all night. It was so funny. You know what? I have another really favorite memory from your wedding too, Hayden.
What's that?
You know what that is?
No.
We had picked a song to dance to, you and I, and then you waited till like just a couple weeks before the wedding to say, I don't really want to dance to that song.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went on a mission to find something new, and we settled on 2 options. And I said, you just decide and let me know. And you chose the Springsteen song.
Yeah.
It was so sweet. It was very sweet.
Because I know you love Springsteen, so I mean, why not, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's no secret, but the song was just really perfect too.
Yeah.
And then I like the song that, talking about dancing, I like the song that Jason and Ariel danced to.
Oh, yeah.
And they were so sweet.
So at our wedding, we picked some. I actually read it on the last episode we did with Ariel. I actually read out the first intro verse to that song. We went with a lot of like lesser known artists, but like songs we really enjoyed. Like this was back when Andy Grammer was still kind of new. And then, of course, people started getting all concerned when everybody was coming in to get seated and stuff before the ceremony started, because Ariel had instrumental Disney playing the whole time, and people were just like, do they know like what they're playing out here?
I remember that.
So, like, her name is Ariel.
What's going on?
I guarantee you she requested it.
Right.
So, speaking of songs at weddings, I don't know if y'all remember what I walked down the aisle to, because we had a song for like basically the whole wedding party when I walked down, and then Jason and Matthew, and then it changed when Cheyenne started walking down. But when all of us were walking down separately, we walked down to a piano version of Yellow by Coldplay.
It was all yellow.
Yeah, and we were watching Bridgerton last night, and one of the weddings in the episode, they played Yellow for the bride walking down, and Cheyenne was like, oh my God, they stole that from us.
You know, if you were going to like pick a theme song, you should have picked Highway to Hell. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa.
Kidding. It was just funny.
No, we have a song that's our song, and it's All of Me by John Legend.
Aww.
Because that's what she walked down to. Hey. Hey. Be nice.
No, it's very sweet. No, it's very
You want
sweet.
grandbabies?
I am being nice.
You better be nice to us. Both of us.
Maybe. Only if I'm Gigi.
Call yourself what you want to call yourself. The kids get to decide who's what. I don't know if you know that.
I'm going to train them up right.
You think Mimo and Pawpaw named themselves Mimo and Pawpaw? No, Nicole gave them those names.
Well, whatever. So, Jason, what's your very, very most favorite moment from your wedding?
So from my wedding, my favorite moment. So there's a couple of different pictures that were taken, obviously. But my absolute favorite picture that was taken all night was when Ariel and I were doing the cake cutting, and we opted not to do the crazy, outrageous, weird tradition of like shoving cake in each other's faces. Is just kind of stupid, especially because like wedding dress / suit, especially rented suit, kind of doesn't make sense, right?
Right.
So I actually still played like I was gonna do it, and she did the whole, like, she had the wife face down immediately. She kind of looked at me like, this will be a problem, right? And so there's a picture taken where I'm kind of looking at her like real smug, like, I'm gonna get you, and she's looking at me like, if you do, like, we can annul this right now. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Right now.
See,
Right.
Cheyenne told me we weren't doing that. Then we cut the cake, and I looked at her, and she went, don't, and I shoved it in her face anyway.
We are two different people, my friend.
You sure did. Well, Hayden also wore pink socks with his wife's face all over him the day he got
Yeah,
married.
yeah.
Oh my
that was a good
God,
time.
yes, that was the greatest. Bright pink, and they had Cheyenne's face all over them. I have no idea where they are.
They were very cool. I was so nervous they weren't going to come in time.
I remember now. It's Jesus say, "That's right."
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, I think we went all around at the wedding going, that's right.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
I will say this much, and I feel like I have said this before. You guys are like the glue for my whole life, right?
Oh,
Because at both of your weddings, well, here's why.
Because we're awesome.
Well, there's that. At both of your weddings, there was some part of my previous married life that participated with my current married life seamlessly, right? Like people just get along because they want to be there for you guys. And so I think, if I look across the board, that's another reason why it just meant so much to me to have you guys be in Hawaii with us because, I'd had the opportunity to, experience that specifically at your wedding, Jason, where, we won't talk about how many of my ex-husbands and my current were there,
literally
but
all of them.
yeah,
All your dads.
Everyone,
all your dads.
even Lord God.
And then, Hayden, at your wedding, to look up and be like, where is my husband? And realize
He's everywhere.
at the back. Yeah, he's at the back of the. Shut up. He's at the back of the reception area with your dad smoking cigars and, drinking whiskey. And I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
okay, yeah. So
speaking of Don and my dad, after the episode with Don came out, my dad listened to it and he called me. He goes,
Oh,
"Why have
gosh.
I never gone to have a beer with
Oh
Don?"
yeah, dude. I bet they could go on for hours, man.
Those are two storytelling fools right there.
So, and at your wedding, Hayden, right? So John bought a whole bunch of cigars, and he gathered up all the men in your life that were at your wedding. So, like, I'm talking all of your groomsmen, all of everybody, your brothers, your stepdads. I mean, whatever. Like, he gathered everybody over there, and we were all smoking and stuff. And Ariel really hates the smell of smoke. She has a lot of different like health things going on. So like, whatever. All of that put together doesn't create a very good situation. She got kind of frustrated with me that I decided to get involved in what John wanted to do to celebrate your wedding because I wouldn't like dance with her at that time. And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to participate in the thing for
I'm
someone
doing
else
dude stuff.
whose actual like deal this is, right? Like I will dance with you. It's like, let's just kind of prioritize here what we're doing. Yeah, I got a little bit in trouble then, and then we almost like ruined your wife's car.
Oh God!
Yeah, you killed her battery, man.
So to be fair, we thought it was our fault, but it actually wasn't because the battery that was in your wife's car was like for a lawnmower or something. It was not designed for her car.
It was a golf cart battery.
Yeah.
It was
so
completely the wrong side.
It was completely the wrong side.
Shout out to my wife on that too. So we actually made signs and stuff.
She did an awesome job.
Yeah, we made signs and stuff that said just married, all this fun stuff. But on the day of the night of your wedding, it was going to rain. So what my wife did, the like big brain that she is, bought like cellophane wrap and like put it all over the things and like taped it all up and stuff so your signs wouldn't get like destroyed when they were on the outside of your car. Then we bought like 1 million glow sticks and shoved them everywhere all over the car. It was fun. We said, your future is bright.
Right? I remember that.
Let me tell you, we have been married for 1.5 years now. Or not quite 1.5 years. I found one of those little teeny tiny glow sticks a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we had a good time with that.
We're still finding them in her car.
So my wife will probably be mortified of me saying this, but one of the like really memorable things from our wedding is like right after the send off. So we did sparklers outside on the steps. We got married at the Tutwiler in downtown Birmingham, and we did sparklers on the outside steps, and we did like the little like run through all the people, whatever, have fun. And they pulled the car up, and we loaded up, got in the car, and we're gonna like drive around the block. Since we got married in a hotel, we were just gonna stay in the room at the hotel, right? And so we were gonna do a lap and then come back in the hotel. Well, we found out.
Did I miss something?
Hayden is like losing his mind because I think he knows where I'm going with this. So we were gonna do a lap. We were gonna do a lap around the block and then park and go back inside. Well, come to find out, we had no protection for that night. And so to receive us back, the wedding planner had gone to the back of the hotel to like, hey, we'll take care of the car. Y'all just go inside, right? So we pulled up to that area and we're like, hey, we gotta go make a pit stop. And she just goes, got it, right? So we go take care of that. The wife stays in the car because obviously she's in her wedding dress, so she's not gonna run into like a convenience store in downtown Birmingham. So yeah, I ran in and grabbed something real quick and we went back and it was all good. But
let's get it on.
Yeah, one might say, hey, you could have asked your like man of honor or what do you call it? The hell's it called?
Best man.
Best man.
That dude.
To handle that for you. And I don't know, whatever. We just took care of it. Sorry, wife. So that was pretty mischievous, but you know what else is mischievous?
Monkeys. Monkeys are mischief.
Monkeys are mischief.
Monkeys have mischief, but only on Mondays.
Yes,
they
and
do
only if you're
mischief.
paying attention to social. That is right. It is time for Monkey Mischief, my favorite part of the episode. So if you joined us on social media on Monday for Monkey Mischief Monday, say that 3 times fast, you would have seen that I put the opening to a amazing dad joke and invited you all to drop your best guess in the comments. And so if you joined us on social media, you would have seen the first part of this week's joke, which is, why did the golfer bring 2 pairs of pants?
Why did the golfer bring 2 pairs of pants?
Because he pooped one of them.
What, did you go outside?
Sorry, because he pooped one of them.
No, in case he got a hole in one.
Ah, how clever.
Yeah.
However, that does break our streak. We didn't get that one.
Right.
I like my answer better.
Of course you do.
Well, he made birdie in it.
Oh.
The eagle landed, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh my gosh, this is going downhill fast. If you think you have a joke worthy of being on air with the monkeys, please submit it at monkeysunfiltered.com. If we select your joy,
Your joke. Your joke.
See, this is the fun we have at Monkeys Unfiltered. If we select your joke and voice it on air, we will send you a Monkeys Unfiltered sticker. No one but us can see this, but homeboy goes clear across the room for the sound effect. I hope you guys can appreciate that.
Good time.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me. This was fun to kind of reminisce and chat about our weddings. I mean, I think there were just tons of other things we could have talked about, but as usual, we get hung up talking about how much we love our spouses, which I think in today's age is not a bad thing to talk about. So thanks for being here today. As always, we invite you to subscribe wherever you get your podcast and be sure you give us a like and a follow on social media. Until next week, we'll see you later. Ciao.
Later.
Goodbye.
I'm sorry. I have my phone shoved under my ass and someone is texting me.
That's a statement you
Let
just
me try
made.
that again. Let me try that again. Maybe Jesus could get Satan off my internet, please. Thank you.
Now that is the end funny.